Good evening everyone and welcome along once again to Inside Line Racing Season number 3 ILR2. We're here for round 16 of the season from Circuit of the Americas here in Texas. We saw an interesting race in ILR3 earlier in the week where we had PSN go down on us in the middle of the race, but let's focus on ILR2 and hope that no issues happen this weekend. Last week we saw the championship turn upside down. Tom now leads by 7 points from Paga as we go into the final 3 rounds of the season. We'll be heading to Brazil and then to Abu Dhabi to round out the season. Mr. Costa went 3 in a row last time and becomes the only driver to do so this season in ILR2. We've had 3 guys go back to back, but never 3 in a row. So let's see how things go. We've got 16 drivers here today. World Cup final has just finished. Not too long ago, France were victorious. So the drivers are here and ready to go here in America. So the stream's all set up. We're running. I have got some tea. I'm ready to settle in. So then, Casper in the Mercedes in his second race with the team. Now that Sam is not driving for them anymore, here he is. And we've got a debutant in the ILR2 race today. That is Red Matt in the Red Bull. Going to be driving around in that car today. And let's go for a lap around Circuit of the Americas on board with one of the Williams drivers. That is, of course, Corey, running into turn 1. Very, very easy to get wrong. Rises up the hill and into this long S section. Blink and you will miss it. Left, right again, but this is a long sweeping right into a tight left and over the brow of the hill, and easy to understeer off right there. Clip that apex, don't run out wide, very easy to do so. I'm running down to the end of sector 1 into this tight left-hander. First of the DRS sections coming up for us right now. On the power, up through the gears, 6, 7, and then up in the DRS down this long 1 kilometer straight. And onto the brakes for this very tricky left-hander, late apex. And then into sector 2, the twisty street section type section here, clipping that right-hand apex and missing that apex slightly, and then into this left-hander, which is very, very tricky, off camber. It sinks away and into this wonderful long right-hander, triple right-hander, sweeping all the way right, absolutely flat through that section, and into the final 2 corners, down to 5th gear, running out a bit wide there. Pit lane is on your left-hand side, through the final corner, and Corey has put together a very nice lap of Coulter right there across the line to go on a 1:33.0, and that is the pole time from ILR3, straight off the bat, and it's going to be a close one. There's your championship leader, Tom, coming across the line with a 1:33.03 to go 200ths of a second quicker. Yannick is going to be the next car across the line. Actually, it's going to be Casper with the first of those times. And I think it's going to be Jordan in the Ferrari to go third on 1:33.4. Then Yannick on a 1:33.299. Nigel goes 6th. And then I think next is going to be Matty Shaw across the line to set a lap. Just Paga popping in on a 1:33.045. And that is how closely matched these guys are. That's incredible. That is 8 thousandths of a second around this very, very long circuit. That is quite incredible. That's the first spate of lap times over and done with. And we'd have the 2 Renaults to come in and see what they can do. France have triumphed. Can the Renaults do so? Here comes Luke, who crashed out of ILR3. Let's see what he can do across the line to go 13th fastest, 1:34.2, 1.2 seconds off the pace. And the next car to come across the line, I think, to set a lap time will be, I think it'll be Scott, but we'll wait and see where these guys are. So they're coming around to the pit lane to put on some new tyres and some fresh fuel, all that good stuff. So the championship is really hotting up. After penalties, it is now 7 points. The gap between Paga and Tom at the top of the championship, it was 12. But after penalties, it came down to 7. So it could flick in Paga's favour once again, and this championship, I think, is going to go right down to the wire in Abu Dhabi, like it did in season number 1 for ILR1. Mr. Costa only 6th currently with that lap. He's half a second off of Tom's time. But right now we have 9/10 between the top 10. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 3. I think this might be for a slow-moving car of Jake. I think we have Liam Robbo coming through that section as well. They're all coming into the pit lane. And I think Luke is on a timed lap. He looks like he's pushing pretty hard right now. He's going to come around the final corner. Let's see where he can go. Across the line to go 6th fastest. That's a good lap from Luke. He'll be happy with that one. 133.514. He goes 200ths quicker than Mr. Costa. That is a good lap from the Renault. So 2 drivers have not set their lap times. And I think we're missing George actually here. He's not going to be racing today. Casper is of course here. And actually those 2 guys just run a 24-hour race around Le Mans. In one separate other league, which is a great job by them. Himself and Casper did a great job to win in that. So now we're waiting for the final bit of qualifying here around Kota, and we'll have some pretty fast lap times coming in very quickly. So the only car out on track are the 2 Renaults of Luke and Scott. And we'll see some more cars heading out on track very shortly indeed. Hello to Owen, my co-com, who's not here. I kind of forgot he wasn't, sorry. But he's not here. He's off enjoying himself, like any sane person would. I'm joking. But let's hope the race is good, so he feels like he's missing out. Anyway, I won't be here next week anyway, so let's hope that race will probably be excellent as well. But now we're about to head into the final part of qualifying, where we have the very, very quick laps, small adjustments to wings perhaps, under park firmway rules. After you leave the pit lane in qualifying, you cannot make any setup changes. Only wing levels are allowed to be changed. So now we have Mr. Costa out on track, Casper out on track, Nigel out on track, and Chill Drive out on track. And everybody, 2 Williams out on track as well. I think Corey running a special helmet, that looks like, on the car. I've never seen that one before. It's a special green and orange helmet, looks like. Not quite sure what it signifies, but it's very nice. Anyways, have a sip of tea. Lovely. Right, Matt, in his first qualifying outing, has gone 12th currently on a 134.118. The guys we're going to be watching are the 3 guys here, Yannick, Corey and Paga. Tom about to head out on track. As you can see, 2 Ferraris getting ready to, and beautifully in sync, come out onto the circuit. So Williams having a much better season in the virtual world than they are in real life. Scott oh dear. Oh dear. Now how's he done that? Alright. That's an interesting accident. So looks like he dropped it on the curb, looks like, spun it round 180 degrees. But we got 200 separating the top 3, which is quite incredible now. Who is the first Williams out on track? It is Paga. We have Tom on an outlap as well. He's going to just have enough time to get round. He's going to have to go quickly if he wants to get round in time. And the other Williams of Corey is behind as well. Look at the commitment through the S's. It's brilliant to watch, and watch Corey as well do the same thing, hitting those apexes inch perfectly. A joy to watch. So let's keep an eye on Paga. We won't be able to see the sector times, unfortunately, because we That's not how this works, but we won't know the lap time until we get to the end of the lap. We can't see if they're going purple, if they're going personal best or anything like that, which would be a nice addition to the next game, if possible. There's Casper out of the session. I'm not sure if he's just retired. He has just retired, so that's okay. So we have the front runners all out in a lap. Josh has retired as well. He's in the top 10. And Nigel just outside the top 10 in P11. So here come the Williams to finish their timed runs through the final corners. Here comes Paga. He's the lead Williams. You've got Corey just behind. Let's see what Paga can do. Can he improve? Can he take pole? He only needs 100th, 8,000th actually, and he does. What a lap! 132.5. Here comes Corey. He does a 132.5 as well. Oh, brilliant laps from the Williams boys. Fantastic. That is rapid lap times from the Dutchman and the Englishman. Only 800 separating them through the lap. Let's see what Tom can do. Can he respond? Now, I think Yannick is actually going to be next across the line. Here he comes. Can he maybe snatch a pole position here? He has done before. He goes third. 132.97. Now, Tom's got to respond. He needs a perfect lap. Here he comes through the long right-hander in Sector 3. Then we got his teammate up behind him as well, of Jordan just a little bit further behind. Luke still sitting 6th, by the way. He's doing a good job. Here comes Tom through the final corner. Can he do anything to displace them? He goes third, but it's Paga on pole here in Circuit of the Americas, and it's a Williams 1-2 here in America. That is a sight to behold. However, we do have Mr. Costa up by 3/10, but he's not just... Actually, there's Liam Robert going 6th, Jake going 7th. Can Luke get any further up the grid? Here he comes, and he can't. He goes 8th. Mr. Costa, pole sitter last week, here he comes. And it's only going to be P9 for the Portuguese man. And that's qualifying over. It's a Williams 1-2 in America. Confirmation of the results then. Paga on pole position for Williams. You got Corey 700th behind, Tom in P3, Yannick will start P4, Jordan will start P5, Lee Rombo P6, Jake in P7, Luke in P8, Mr. Costa P9 and Casper in P10. Then we have Josh, Nigel, Matt, Scott, Maddie Shaw and Chill Drive rounding out the grid for round 16 of the World Championship in ILR2. Excuse me. Throat is a little off, but we shall get through it. Now I was told we are expecting rain at the end of the race, so that should make for an interesting one. So settle in, grab a drink, whatever, popcorn, anything. Let's hope that we get a good race here today for round 16 of the championship. 3 rounds left. Sorry, 2 rounds left after this one. We have Brazil and Abu Dhabi to go. And this championship is hotter than ever. 7 points between Tom and Paga. It's going to be, I think, a really good race today. Let's see if they get through turn 1 cleanly. That'll be an interesting one to watch. Formation lap will begin in a few moments' time, and the 2 Williams will lead away the pack here. Paga, followed by Corey. Then comes the lead Ferrari of Tom and Yannick in the first of the McLarens. Then we have Jordan in the Ferrari, Liam Robbo P6, Jake in P7, Luke starts in the top 10, Costa P9, and Casper in P10. Then we have Josh in P11 on the softs. Then we have Nigel in P12, Matt in P13, Scott in P14, Matty Shaw in P15 and Chill Drive in P16. Let's have a look at the tyre strategies here on the screen. Josh and Matt going for the softs, and Nigel, Scott, Matty and Chill Drive all going for the super soft tyres. So we've seen some guys go for the 2-stop here, and others will try the 1-stop. So it's going to be an interesting mix of strategies, I feel, today. 28 laps of Circuit of the Americas. We are expecting rain at the end of the race. How much it'll affect it, we don't know. But Paga could be on to turn the championship back in his favour. Once again, going into the final 2 rounds. Mathematically, Mr. Costa is still in with a chance. But it would be only if these 2 guys crashed out and he won today's race. So after today, if he finishes the way he is unfortunately out of the title fight. But he is secure in his 3rd position right now. So, here we go then. For the 16th time this season, unbelievable, we've done 16 rounds, and Mr. Costa was the only man to get disqualified on the formation lap. I hope you're sitting comfortably. I hope you're ready for what I think will be an incredible race. 2 Williams on the front row. Ferrari's behind. What is going to happen today? Chill Drive will line up in the grid in last position, 16th position on the grid, and here we go then. Round 16 of the Inside Line Racing ILR2 Championship is about to get underway with 5 red lights. Lights out and away we go. It's a good start from Paga, but it's a brilliant start from Tom from the 2nd row of the grid. Here we go towards turn 1. He's on the outside. Let's see if he can take him into the first corner here. Yannick's having a look up the inside there on the Ferrari, but they all seem to get through. Oh, there's Ferrari around. That is Jordan into the wall in the background, and that's not going well for him at all. Top 3 get through relatively cleanly there. So Yannick in P4. We got a great start from Mr. Costa up to 6th. Luke up to 7th. Jake into 8th. Josh into 9th, and Casper fighting away in P10 there with the Sauber and the Red Bull, and that's a good move from Matt if he can make that one stick. That's a good move from the Red Bull there. So the top 3 stay as they are then. Move between Jake and Luke here as they go side by side down the long straight here. Wheel banging all the way down. Let's see if Jake can hold on. It looks like he can do. He's got a good, better straight line speed in the Mercedes. And Luke is going to hold on into P8. But Paga already starting to stretch his legs. 1 second clear. Let's see. Tom needs to get past Corey here. And Yannick is sticking with him. Liam behind him. Mr. Costa with a brilliant getaway up to 6th there. Let's check your biggest movers. And it is Mr. Costa up 3. But a disaster for Silent Assassin. Yannick sideways through the final corner there. So after lap 1, it's Paga who leads. Corey 2nd, Tom 3rd, Yannick 4th, Liam 5th. Mr. Costa 6th. He's having a look at Liam actually to run up towards turn 1. Is he going to have a move on in turn 1? Yes, he is. Down the inside for the Portugueseman. That's a lovely move for the Haas driver there, and he has made that work. That's a great move from the Haas, and he's on a charge. Back to the top 4, all very spread out, all very clean. Bit of a kick of oversteer for Tom through that section. So he's going to be, I think, a little bit vulnerable to Yannick here. Put the Silent Assassin into the pits for a wing and some super soft tyres. He was the biggest loser from that restart. So look at this, Tom going very defensive down the straight onto the left hand verge of the track. He's trying to defend from Yannick, who's looking very threatening behind him. Mr. Costa's flying behind here. Yannick's having a look. The 2 Williams 1 second apart, and Paga is looking really comfortable and in charge right here. We've got another 25 laps of racing. Yannick looking very threatening behind the car of Tom here. Mr. Costa right on the back of him as well. And Liam Bravo just dropping back a little bit now. DRS is enabled this lap by. Here we go. We're going to have an interesting battle here between Tom, Yannick and Mr. Costa, who's bloody flying behind, I must say. Is he going to have a little dive at the inside potentially? No. We got the yellow flag in Sector 3. We're going to have a check and see who that is. It is Matty Shaw, who once again is out of the Grand Prix for the third successive race. And he has retired from the American Grand Prix. And there's the first time penalty. Sorry, the second time penalty. That's red mat with 3-second time penalty. Yannick is looking very threatening behind Tom, who looks like he's struggling in the early stages here. He's dropped 1.2 seconds behind the lead Williams. And Mr. Costa is all over the back of these guys. And now watch this DRS train. Look at the train behind we see. Now let's have a look. Are we going to see any moves? I think we might see a move between Costa and Yannick here. Is he going to have a look? He's going to go to the outside of this left-hander. He's not going to have any room to work with here. He's going to maybe run into the back of him, but just leaves enough room to work. We've got a move between Casper and Josh here, and Casper's going to completely overshoot the corner. That's going to be it for that battle momentarily, as we have a huge battle going on here for third position between Tom, Yannick, Costa and Liam. Let's see how this one's going to pan out. It's going to be a very interesting one. It's through the final corner once again onto lap 4 of 28. We've got a yellow flag in Sector 3. This time might be for Matt. And it is. The two Red Bulls have had a disaster today. Got a good battle between Scott and Nigel here as well. Running up to turn 1, we're going to see a move potentially between one of these guys. Scott thought about it, but no way through. Matty Shaw's left the session once again. And we must emphasise this, they are not supposed to leave the session. We may have slipstream glitch now, and that's red Matt out of the race as well. That's a double DNF for the Red Bull team. Let's move back to the battle here though. Let's see who's going to come out on top. Tom's still holding up, but he's dropped 1.6 seconds to Corey here. And as things stand, Paga's going to shift the championship in his favour once again. A very short-lived championship lead, but we're not even 1/3 distance into this race. And things are holding steady at the moment. So lap number 4 of 28. Mr. Costa looking very threatening behind the McLaren there. We're at 1/7 of the distance of this race. And we may start seeing the first stops for the Ultra Softs. Corey's run wide through that section, and he's going to lose time to his teammate now. And for whatever reason, Trench Gun has joined the session. And here we go then. I think we might see a move here. Mr. Costa on the back of Yannick. It's going to be a very late lunge if he's going to try it. No. Far too far back for that one. Let's move further back. Let's any moves between these guys? No. DNA Joe, the first of the soft runners, has one pole position to his name, and that was back in Malaysia. And Corey with a 3-second time penalty. Now that's huge. That's a big penalty that Corey's picked up there. He's dropped him all the way behind, down to 6th actually at the moment. And Costa's having a look at Yannick. Let's see. Tom is the most vulnerable at this time. He's got no DRS versus Yannick or Costa, but he's got good straight line speed in the Ferrari. And just up the road is Corey. And Jordan with another 3-second time penalty. He's down the back currently. And look at this train we have for third. Tom, Yannick, Costa and Liam. And Yannick is still stuck behind this Ferrari. So looks like looks like he's lost force feedback. That was the issue we're just hearing from him. And Costa with a 3-second time penalty. We just saw what he did there. Cut that corner. And penalties are going to be a big one today. Strict corner cutting in ILR2, as we remember. Now, let's keep an eye on this one. Costa, closer than he's ever been. Behind the back of the McLaren. And he's going to have a pop. No, he thought about it. And he's all over that gearbox of the McLaren. So we run through the S section once again. I reckon we're going to maybe see the first ultra soft stop in the next lap or so. And here we're running up the hill once again. Yannick a bit sideways. I think Mr. Costa with the penalty is now going to have a push on. Yannick's going defensive. And he's going to have a little pop at him down the left-hander. That's a bit of a brave one. But no, nothing comes of it. And here we go. Yannick is very close to Tom here. That's right on board with the McLaren as you run down towards the left-hander. Look at Tom going defensive. Yannick might have a pop at him here into the left-hander. Is he going to do it? Yes, down the inside for the German. And he's going to make that work. But Tom's going to hold it on the inside line here. Let's see if he can hold it together. He is going to hold on to that one, I think. But Yannick's going to stick his nose in and go down the inside of the left-hander. But let's see. Tom will have to cut back. And this is a great battle. He's going to have to go around the outside of the right-hander. And that's going to be a very tight one. And Yannick's got it done. Mr. Costa's right there as well. That was very, very tight indeed. And Tom's coming back. And Costa, look at this. Takes the two of them down the inside. So the battle cost them dearly. Liam Robbo now about to have a go at Yannick down the inside of turn one. And down the inside of Tom. What a move from Liam. And Tom has lost out hugely as a result of that battle. Titanic proposal. Oh, he's lost his front wing. Tom has broken the front wing. What a story. Tom has broken that end plate, as you can see on the left hand side, and that is detrimental to his championship. But Mr. Costa, what can you say? 9th to 3rd, and he's on a charge. I think we may have seen the championship been thrown away before our very eyes. And let's have a look back at this battle down here. We have Luke, Casper, and Nigel fighting it out down here. And there's Yannick but down the inside of Liam Robbo. And he has made that work, interestingly. This is Liam actually trying to fight for 4th position. Let's see if he can make this one work. Gonna have to go to the outside with no way through. Can't carry quite as much speed. He's on the back of Yannick here. Is he gonna have a little pop at him into the final corner? Into the pits comes the race leader. And those tyres look pretty shot. And here we go then. Let's keep an eye on this battle. Liam Robbo down the inside of Yannick Brandt down towards turn 1, and he has made that work easily into turn 1. Is Yannick going to fight that back? Yes, but no way through. Now let's go to Paggy. He's bolted on the softs. This is the one stop then for the championship runner-up currently, but probably about to be championship leader, and Tom's come in to try the one stop. Oh, just gets beaten by Luke. Just. So now he's going to have to get past the Dutchman here. So the two leaders are on the one stop. And Nigel fighting with Casper here. The old teammates. Actually, old team of Casper is down on the inside goes Nigel. Down the inside for the left-hander. And he's going to make that work. Just. But Casper will have DRS, remember. So here they come down towards the left-hander. Nigel has DRS actually from Casper, and Casper's going to come back down the inside of Nigel here, and Nigel's going to run wide. Sauber down the inside on Mercedes action. Great battle here between Nigel and Casper. And Nigel has eventually made that. Here comes Casper back down the inside. And he has made that work eventually. Good battle. And here comes Corey into the pit lane. Mr. Costa is in as well. Liam Robb was going to stay out. Yannick is in as well. Jake's going to stay out. And Josh is actually doing well on those soft tyres. He's in third currently. And the first of the soft tyres runners. So let's see. Where has Corey come out? He's come out well in front of Tom. And Tom is actually still stuck behind the Renault of Luke. So right now, Mr. Costa is in a genuine third. Let's go back to... And there's Tom is having a disaster today. 3-second time penalty. To add insult to injury. Just seen a move between Childrive and Scott here. Childrive making the move on Scott there. Let's see if Scott can come back to him though. He's actually maybe going to lose out here to Paga. He's actually moving over for Paga. That's a very sensible thing to do, I feel. And we have a nice train here as Casper leads this train. From Childrive, from Paga, and Corey is actually further 2 seconds behind Scott, so Paga is massively ahead here. But he's caught in traffic. Tom has made the move on Luke. Into the pits comes Liam Robbo, followed by Jake. And Josh, the South African, leads in USA. Nigel will take P2. He's on the super softs. Casper's going to stay out, but he's going to get eaten alive by these guys behind. Here comes Childrive to take away third position. Down the inside on the super soft tires. Nothing Casper can do. And he has made the move stick. Here comes Paga to get himself involved, and this could get a little bit messy as these two guys go side by side towards the S section. And that is brilliant from the two of them there, but they had to back out of it. Childrive on the grass, and around the outside goes Casper. But look at this now. Paga on the softs, and that's Scott sticking himself up the inside there. Corey, he actually lets him through. And now the two Williams are together. Paga's lost out massively. Is Corey going to have a pop at his teammate? Casper and Childrive are fighting hammer and tong there. We are on lap 10 of 28. And you can see the Haas of Mr. Costa just not far behind. We've got Corey and Paga fighting for the race lead. There goes Paga down the inside of Casper. And Corey's going to capitalise on that as well. Following his teammate through. Casper trying to fight, but just nothing left in those ultra softs. And Paga has to get past Childrive here. He needs to. But Childrive has every right to fight here. Paga goes around the outside of the last two corners. Contact and into the wall. That was close. Very close. And Corey's taking the lead. What a story. And here comes the two Williams side by side towards turn one. He lets his teammate back through. Costa and Scott fighting hammer and tong back here. And Mr. Costa is through to P3, and this is the battle for the race lead. I think Paga got away very lightly there. Very, very lightly. Almost catastrophe. And there is a ton of penalties coming through now. There's Yannick and whoever else picked up one right there. Mr. Costa somehow fought his way back to the lead battle. It's quite incredible. If you're wondering where Tom is, your championship leader is all the way down here in 10th position and having to fight his way through the field. I've got a yellow flag somewhere. Might have been Casper that we just saw. Let's go back to this battle for the race lead. And Costa is on a late title surge here. There's a maximum of 75 points currently. He's well within his chance. And he's 48 points. 41 points, sorry, behind... No, he's actually 48 points behind championship leader Tom. So he's very outside chance. So I don't think it's going to happen, but Corey almost tasted the champagne. But he's now sticking behind his teammate, and they will take the lead in the constructors if it were to stay like this. Let's go back to Tom and Jake, who are fighting it out here. And Jake, this is for a legitimate position, because Tom has lost out hugely thanks to his wing damage. Chill drive with a 3-second penalty there. I remember Corey has actually got a 3-second penalty as well, so technically Mr. Costa is in P2 in this race. And here he comes, actually take it away legitimately. To the outside of the left-hander, that's very tight. Between the Williams and the Haas. He's going to have him easily with DRS here, I feel. But Corey will have DRS as well. Paga is about to take P2 away from Nigel, who's still running around. Here he comes to take it away. No. And Nigel has every right to fight here. Meanwhile, in the lead, Josh on the soft tyres. This is quite a hectic race. Here comes Paga just taking it away from Nigel there. Easily done and slick work. Here comes Corey to take it away as well. Nigel gonna fight it. But nothing left in the super softs, unfortunately for him. And now Costa needs to find his way past here. And Nigel into the pit lane. That made it very easy work. So right now Costa's in P2 in this race. And Tom has got past Jake. And he's now on the back of Yannick. So we're into P7. And he's chasing down P6 currently. Nigel onto the softs. Let's go back to this lead battle then. Josh is still in the lead of this race. But he's yet to make a stop. He'll be going another couple of laps. Maybe to lap 20 on that set. And Mr. Costa's going for the move on Corey. And here we go then down towards the next corner. Who's going to come out on top here? 2 DRS activations on both cars. And it looks like Mr. Costa is ahead. He's defending hard as we run down towards the next corner. Corey's going to try and hang it around the outside. He's going to run wide and Casper is out of this race. And Mr. Costa is into P2 in this race. Let's see if Corey can come back in and maybe through the next left-hander. Tom's made a move on Yannick there. And Corey is going to try and pop it down the inside there, and he has come back at Mr. Costa there. Let's see what happened to Casper if we can. Yeah, that is into the wall. And I'm not quite sure. That is sector 1. Oh dear, that's a big impact. Righto, Tom has now got to charge his way up to Liam Robbo. Jake with a 3-second time penalty there. Costa weaving around. Behind Corey, he's going to have a pop at him. Maybe he's going to almost hit him. Into turn 1. And we're at half distance in this race. "13 drivers left running. And don't forget, we're expecting rain at the end of the race." And there is some bragging rights for Luke with the fastest lap of the race as he runs down in 12th there. And let's keep an eye on this battle then. Corey, remember, still has a 3-second time penalty, so he is currently going to drop to 4th. He's actually going to drop to 3rd after pit stops, but Liam Robbo is only 3 seconds behind them. And Josh still leading this race. He's going to be finishing the race on the ultra soft tyres, I reckon. And all of these drivers have opted for the 1 stop. A lot of mix up in ILR3 with 2 stops. I think Tom is going to struggle to get back to the front, and I think Paga is going to swing the championship massively in his favour. And Liam Robbo is closing in behind. After an absence of a few races, he is back and doing a good job. Jake having a good battle down here with Yannick. Trying to get onto the back of the German here. Corey within a second of his teammate now, as they close up to Josh here. And it's going to be a very easy move for Paga, I reckon, to get past Josh here. Josh is on 15 lap old soft tyres and the blisters are starting to show. But Corey is closing in along with Mr. Costa. They're dragging each other with each other and they've been inseparable the entire race. And remember, Mr. Costa started in 9th. And is on a relentless charge to try and take a late title, but I don't think it's going to be possible. So here we go then. Paga, I reckon, is going to catch Josh at the right time, because Josh, I think, might peel into the pit lane. Potentially. And he is going to do so, and that releases Paga to take the lead of the American Grand Prix here, with Corey in P2, but with a penalty, so Mr. Costa in P2 and Liam Robbo currently in P4, and Tom will take P5. And there you have it. There is your gaps, and we have got 12 laps to go. So Costa on the charge. He's trying to get past Corey and potentially take a race victory. But remember, he has also got a 3-second time penalty, actually. So I have forgotten that. So this is legitimately for position. And Paga has got 3 seconds in hand over these guys. So right now, Paga actually kind of helping his teammate here by just keeping within that DRS range so he can keep ahead of Mr. Costa here. And there is Liam Robbo in the background. You may see Tom come into shot, not quite. We've got 13 drivers left running in this race. And Paga absolutely dominating this race currently. It's been a while since he's taken a victory. Oh, excuse me. So on to lap 17 of 28. And the lead battle is far from over. You can see the clouds rolling in. And rain is due. That we have been told. So, no moves between the top 3 just yet. Chill Drive gets another penalty. And the two Williams boys, 1 and 2, as they started. Mr. Costa up from 9th on the grid. And the Williams have been unstoppable today. But we still, but we still have about 10 laps to go, and Mr. Costa diving out of that slipstream and putting the pressure on Corey here, mounting a late charge here. Not long to go now in this race at all. Let's quickly go back to the battle between Jake and Yannick. This has been raging on for a couple of laps. See the dark clouds in the background rolling in slowly. But these two guys do have penalties, and there's Tom with another penalty. to add to his misery today, and that's going to drop him almost behind Yannick, but Yannick also has a 3-second time penalty. But he's within danger of falling back to about 7th or 8th. And Josh going quickly on the fresh super softs. And these guys settling down, I think, up front as they realise the rain is imminent. And the gaps are almost identical here. And Liam Robbo is right there. He can just about see them. He can see them, but he just can't seem to catch them. Let's keep an eye on this battle. I think we might see a move here between Jake and Yannick, and Josh is going to get himself involved in this one after just picking up a penalty. Here we go then. Jake with DRS. Can he mount a move on the German here, who started in 3rd position? He goes very defensive. He's going to go majorly late on the brakes and try to go around the outside, but no way through. And maybe trying to stick it to the outside of this next corner, try to get the switch back, and he has done that pitch perfectly there. And let's see if we can get it once again on the inside of the left-hander here. No, we wait for the switch back once again as Yannick goes a bit deep. But Yannick defends that very well indeed, and Josh is now involved in this nice little battle for 6th position. Jake trying to mount an attack here. And Yannick gets a bit sideways there into the final corner. That's Josh down the inside of the Mercedes. And he is ahead. Now here he comes trying to take away 6th from his teammate. Can he do that into turn 1? Here comes Jake back at him once again down the inside of both. There's contact between Yannick and Jake there, and they both somehow come away from it unscathed. That was a very hairy moment for Jake. Has he got damage? I don't think he has. He got away with it very lightly. There's Josh is just massively quicker than Yannick here. Is he gonna let... Oh, there's contact between the teammates. And look at Jake on the outside of the both of them there. Brilliant from the Englishman. And so Jake comes out the victor of that battle. And Yannick is not best pleased with Jake there. So I think he may have a little dive bomb here. I reckon I can see one coming. Nope. Maybe trying to force Jake to go deep there, but nope. He absorbs the pressure like a sponge. Mr. Costa dropping back from Corey. I think he realises he's resigned himself to take P3, which is a brilliant result for him nonetheless. And it'll be his 4th podium in a row. Well, it'll end his streak of wins. But not. I don't think he's had a very good podium streak these last few races. Josh gonna mount an attack on the McLaren now, with 8 laps to go in this race. Josh versus Yannick. 2 teammates. Who's going to come out on top? And Josh is going to try and slip it down the inside there, but he can't quite do it. Into the S section. Have a lot more grip than Yannick through here. He's going to be very careful. He doesn't run into the back of Yannick here. Got to be very careful. He runs a bit deep and loses a chunk of time to his German counterpart. Let's move back to 11th place. Chill Drive and Luke have a nice little battle down there as well. But Josh is really hammering on here. And he's going to slip down the inside, maybe. No. Gets a better run at the left-hander. He's going to have DRS. As will Yannick. No, he won't actually. It's going to be an easy move, I think, for Josh. Down the inside of his German teammate. And that is all said and done. And it's very, very cloudy, as you can see, around the track. Extremely cloudy around the Circuit of the Americas. The top 3 are all on the hardest compound tyre available to them, and will do well in these conditions. And we know who particularly is very good in these conditions. This is, of course, Mr. Costa. So the battles on track have settled down for the moment. Tom in P5 currently. And his championship rival Paga in the lead. So Tom, unfortunately, is going to only lead the title, or lead the championship for one singular week before it shifts back in Paga's favour. And let's quickly check what that gap's going to be. It's still very much on for Tom, because Paga hasn't had the best results. Well, he has had some good results, but Tom has been the more consistent. So let's quickly check the F1 points to try and figure out where the championship will lie after this. So of course there's a massive 25 points for the win, and Tom currently sits in 5th position. And that is of course 10 points, so Paga's going to make a 15-point gain. So let's quickly have a quick calculate that. So a 10, is it a 15-point gain or a 10-point gain? 15 points. 15-point gain in the championship for Paga. And that's fallen over. But that will, of course, help his championship massively. It's going to put him back in the lead. And put him in the lead by a margin of 8 points. So there's a big gain. It's pretty much... And there it is. 8 points the margin. It will be. If it finishes like this, of course, it could we could see a massive disaster. And there's the rain. The rain falls, the ILR2 curse returns once again here in Circuit of the Americas. But will it have an effect on the race? We may see a very late change to the inters. So it's going to go from a 7-point advantage to Tom to an 8-point lead for Paga. It's switching and chopping and changing so quickly, but so Tom is still very much in with a chance and still well within a title shot. But he needs the result in Brazil, which I will be, of course, absent for. Or no, will I? I may have to review that. Let's see. How is this going to affect the race? How hard is that rain coming down? Are we looking at early intermediate conditions? Are we going to see a late change to the intermediates with about 3 laps to go? Potentially. It could make for a very interesting conclusion to this race. But the man they're going to follow is, of course, Paga. He is going to lead the championship after this race. Yannick gets another penalty to add to the tally. And I am looking forward to seeing how the championship fight is going to come to a climax. This is almost reminiscent. It reminds me so much of ILR1 Season 1. The championship was as close as this, and the man who was fighting for it was the man you're looking at on screen right now. Mr. Corey right here came within inches of the title, but binned it in Abu Dhabi. And the championship went, of course, to Michael Davis, who's racing in ILR1 at the moment. So here we go then. Josh, I think, is actually mounting another attack on Jake here. So here we go then, through the left-hander, as we watch Jake versus Josh here. And it is getting very wet very quickly. DRS is not yet disabled, and that is usually the crossover point for these drivers. And actually, I think... And there it is. There she goes. Corey with another penalty. Now will drop behind Mr. Costa and potentially Liam Robbo, who's now within... Well, he won't drop behind Liam Robbo actually, but now Scott and Luke, they're far down the grid, so they may as well give it a shot. Scott onto the inters. We all know it's far too early for those inters, but they may as well have a go, have a shot at it. So up the front, what are we going to see? Are they going to come in for their stops? The tyres are looking very blistered on Paga's car. And Childrive with another penalty to add to his tally. Let's see if Paga will make the dive in. There's still no crossover point. Let's see when that DRS disabled sign will come. Let's keep an eye on Scott as he makes his way around the track on the intermediates. Let's watch the traction. Almost non-existent. Let's watch Luke. The two Renaults have decided them. Oh dear. Well, that almost ended in calamity right there. Josh still on the back of Jake here. And they're fighting for 6th position. Nigel with another penalty. And Liam in 4th there. Running. He's made a mistake as I went straight through him. I was about to say he was doing well. And that's gone wrong. Mr. Costa is now legitimately in P2 if he can stay within 3 seconds of Corey. And Childrive, I think, is also going to make the dive to the intermediates. His tyres are absolutely shot. Look at the tyre. Look at the blisters down the middle. They tried to do a very audacious strategy. Oh, he's actually going to go for the... That should be the intermediates, I feel. But it's not, apparently. It is the Ultrasofts. Right. We're on lap 25 of 28, and I think at this point, I think the guys are going to stay out and bring these tyres to the end. I think it's far too late in the race for the guys to be bolting on intermediate tyres. It's far too much of a risk, and Tom knows that. He's done it in the past. I think maybe Scott may have binned it. Yes, he has. And he is out of the US Grand Prix on lap 26. And also Luke is also having a bit of a nightmare down here. So as you can see, the intermediates are not quite the right tyre for the occasion. So lap 26 of 28, 3 laps to go. And probably the most tentative driving you'll see all season. And now Corey is actually still sticking in P2 right there, because he's now over 3 seconds behind or ahead. And well, he doesn't have to worry about it now, because Mr. Costa's now got another 3 second time, but he's actually going to drop behind Liam Robb. Is going to actually maybe grab a podium here, which will be a great result for him. So down the main straight, as Yannick picks up a penalty there. And he's going to drop behind Nigel now, I think, after all those penalties. He's running around in 9th, so about to pick up some more points for Sauber here today, which is a good result for him. And Childrive just sitting outside the points currently. He is on the Ultrasofts, which are still probably the better tyre to be on currently. So let's keep an eye on where the guys are on the lap. No crossover point just yet in lap 27 of 28. Absolutely no way these guys are going to go on to the intermediates right now. They're just going to have to nurse these tyres to the end and try not to spin out. So the top three, Paga, Corey, Costa. Then we have Liam, Tom, Jake, Josh, Yannick, Nigel, Jordan, Childrive and Luke are all left running. The only drivers left running. 16 cars started, 12 will finish, it looks like. So let's move back up to the front and keep an eye on how the race leader is doing. Still looks very dry on the track, but no crossover point, and it isn't going to affect the drivers at all in this race. They're just going to have to get these tyres to the end and make sure they're easy as pie on the power. Take a look at this guy, by the way. Liam Robo on a charge right now. He's about to catch up to Mr. Costa and maybe actually take third place legitimately on track, which would be a fantastic result for him. Really seems to be adapting to these conditions very well. He seems short shifting through the gears to make sure he doesn't have any issues. Look at him getting very sideways through the corner there. Brilliant car control. Final lap here in USA. Paga has pretty much led every single lap of this race and is going to retake the championship lead. Let's run through that order. I think Nigel might have had a spin, and Luke is just, you know, doing Luke things. Paga's on his way through. He's actually coming up to lap Luke right now, and the crossover point isn't even here right now. So the dries are very much the right tyre to be on. And Paga is out front. And let's keep an eye on, well, he's still technically in P3 because Costa still has that second penalty, but the crossover point has come now. So the race is done. Paga's got to make sure he gets through this last sector cleanly. And right now Luke is on the correct tyres. So DRS was just disabled just before the DRS zone, so Liam couldn't benefit. So let's keep an eye on the Dutchman here. He's got one more sector to negotiate to take a brilliant victory, a dominant victory. Look at Luke drifting through the right-hander there. As Luke, I think it's just binned it up ahead. Almost binned it. But here we go then. Here comes Paga around the final corner. Paga wins around 16 of ILR2 and retakes the championship lead. Corey takes P2 for a Williams 1-2. And Liam's binned it in the final corner. Oh, what a disaster. Can Tom maybe snatch fourth? I don't think he can. Across the line comes Liam just to take fourth. And Liam is going to be pretty annoyed with himself on that one. Tom comes across the line to take fifth. And he's now 8 points adrift of Paga in the championship. Jake with a good sixth. Comes across the line to take sixth position there. Josh takes P7 just ahead of his teammate. And then Nigel takes more points in ILR. Takes 9th position in the Sauber. And we've got to wait for Jordan, who's spun the car. And actually Childrive's going to take 10th off him. And there it is. Childrive about to take points for Toro Rosso. His teammate Paul McGuinness is off in a Spanish villa, sunning himself, watching how his teammate gets on. And here he comes to take P10. Very, very gently coming across the line there. And there it is, 10th place. Just got to wait for these two guys to come across the line. At least Luke has, I think, going to finish this race. Across the line, I was going to say across the line, but a very nice 360 from Jordan. And he's going to come across the line to take P11. And Luke is going to be the final car to cross the line. And he takes P12 in this race. And he's going to run very wide off the track and into the wall potentially. That's reverse Luke, there you go. And he's going to run into the bottom and across the line. There it is. And his AI almost bins it in the wall. And I'm not quite sure what's going on my screen. But there is the final order. Paga wins in Circuit of the Americas and retakes the championship lead. A big day for him. There he is on the top step. Costa alongside him. And Corey alongside him as well. A Williams 1-2. Brilliant result for them. And every driver got a penalty apart from Paga. And on that bombshell, we're going to leave it there. We'll see you next time in Brazil. Thank you so much for watching, and good night.